you just have an initiative or a press conference. It means taking on the entire political, legal, and media establishment for years to have success. And that's what we had here in Maricopa County, and the whole state benefited from it for a period of years. Yes, we need the National Guard on the border. Yes, we need to finish the fence. But we need to also talk about a very fundamental issue, which nobody is talking about. We could give more resources to sheriffs and prosecutors along the border, but they have no laws left to enforce because activist judges have thrown them all out. That's what nobody talks about. Activist judges have thrown out the human smuggling law, thrown out the day labor law, gutted SB 1070. They just threw out Governor Brewer's driver's license ban. I mean, the list of moribund laws as a result of activist judges is very long. And that's not the end of their crimes against the Constitution and the rule of law. And if we don't start talking about these things, and if we aren't honest about them, all of these policies are meaningless because all the ACLU has to do, and what they do is they wait for all of us to vote for something in, or vote for or have our elected representatives vote something in, and then they just file a lawsuit. Have you seen that? We must deal with these activist judges. I'm the only person who's even talking about that and who has a plan to do it. This must be done or all of this is meaningless and we're going to lose our country ultimately, folks. That's what's at stake. Implementation. Common Core, cut to its core, is a federal takeover of our local school systems. And that is something that cuts very close to me because I have 4 children and 2 of them are still in the primary and secondary education system. We have to have somebody who will work to oppose and repeal Common Core. But more fundamentally than the pledges up here, we need somebody who will actually get it done once elected, because it is a tough fight. You have an education bureaucracy and an Obama administration who are ideologically and self-interestedly invested in making sure that this remains in place. I will fight to make sure the Common Core is repealed. It was a terrible decision made, and there are a lot of recriminations, and I think we need to get to the bottom of how this happened, but more fundamentally, get somebody in there who will actually stand up and fight to repeal it, and that's what I will
do. It's because it ties us into funding from Washington, D.C. It has us purchase obedience from the federal government for what goes on in our school system. And for that reason, I'm opposed to it. George Will writes a great article in the Washington Post saying 50 years of increasing Washington, D.C. involvement in K-12 education has resulted in mediocrity. Peggy Noonan does the same thing in the Wall Street Journal. But what's important in addition to getting rid of Common Core is that we make sure our children get a year of growth for a year of seat time. One thing that I've introduced is the American Civics Test. There's too many of our children that don't understand what makes America unique, different, and special. And the standard that I'll have in place if I'm elected your governor is no child will graduate from an Arizona high school until they pass the American Civics Test.
That's why so many of us moved here. My wife and I moved here 23 years ago, and we need to make sure that Arizona remains one of those great places on earth to live, to work, to retire, to pursue happiness in your own way. And it is only going to remain that if we have strong leadership to defend this great state against the threats that loom. And they are real threats. We need to make sure that we have strong and vibrant and secure neighborhoods. I am proud of the fact that I ran for county attorney and I said I would end plea bargaining as we know it for serious violent criminals, and I did it. And as a result of that and other policy proposals that were implemented, I drove up the incarceration rate by 29% and crime plummeted throughout Maricopa County, not just in Mesa, but in Phoenix and throughout the valley, and I'm proud of that. I also kept my promise to stop illegal immigration when the liberal elite said that couldn't be done. And we can have the same success in health care, in jobs, in education, if we have someone who will deal with these issues courageously and honestly. And I get back to the heart of the matter. I will end where I began. This is Arizona's last chance to stop illegal immigration and secure the border. That is not political rhetoric or hyperbole. It is simply a fact. If we do not choose wisely in this last chance election, it will be too late for us. I am the one candidate who said he would stop illegal immigration, and working with other great people succeeded in doing that. I did it before. If you elect me governor, I will do it again. I will tackle the toughest and most important issue looming before us. I ask you for your vote in that opportunity to finish what I started. Thank you all. God bless you, and God bless the great state of Arizona.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a big round of applause for these very, very